of being fair and nonpartisan. But has there really been any change? When Chris Licht became the CEO of CNN, here's what CNBC said, quote, Licht is already contemplating how to cover Trump if he runs for president again in 2024. Licht hasn't told anchors or reporters to become more centrist, contrary to popular belief, according to people familiar with conversations with talent. He does want viewpoints from both sides of the political divide to appear on CNN, but he won't stand for guests who push disinformation, he said. The analogy I love to use, Licht said, is some people like rain, some people don't like rain. We should give space to that. But we will not have someone who comes on and says, it's not raining, end of quote. CNBC wrote, this will require CNN anchors, reporters, and bookers to steer guests into topics they're qualified to speak about. CNN won't ban guests who have supported the false claim that 2020 election was stolen, but the network will attempt to keep conversations with these people in safe zones of truth, said people familiar with Licht's thinking, end of quote, said CNBC. My guest is director of the media analysis at the Media Research Center and executive editor of the blog newsbusters.org. Please welcome Tim Graham. Tim, how's that quest for nonpartisanship at CNN coming along?
I can't say we had great hopes, and it wouldn't take much to have Republicans on, to be fairly respectful to them. It wouldn't be hard for them just to basically take some of the politics out of their everyday news product. We're really seeing none of that. I mean, when you move Don Lemon from evening to morning, you're not really changing anything. We can obviously see that. So it really is the same product we were getting before. So I don't know why you would go out and make all these promises.
I feel the same way. I watch a lot of CNN. I say on my show, and MSNBC hee-haw, so you don't have to. I'm not seeing any difference whatsoever. I think, though, Tim, they stopped using the term the big lie. Am I wrong about that?
Maybe not as much as they used to. I know that was something that Licht wanted them to not say as much. I think that more so these days, there's a lot more sticking up for Biden and not quite as much attack on Trump. But you could really see it when the House Republicans had a hearing about Twitter and the Hunter Biden laptop, when Oliver Darcy put out this just screamy newsletter, trying to say that everything Fox does is lies and misinformation, and just not really want to engage with the idea that they all suppressed the story of the Hunter laptop, which is the story of Joe Biden's corruption. They just can't hack that.
When I was running for governor, Tim, one of the first questions I was asked was, did I believe 2020 was fair? As if that had anything to do with why I was running for governor of California. So finally I said, would you please ask my opponent if he believes 2016 was fair? Because for 4 years, Hillary's been running around referring to Donald Trump as illegitimate, calling the election stolen. Nobody calls her attacking the foundations of our republic. Al Gore to this day believes the Supreme Court put George W. Bush there. You have Stacey Abrams saying that she was a victim of voter suppression. The chair of the January 6th committee, Benny Thompson, the first week of January 2005, tried to not qualify Iowa, claiming that the voting machines had been tampered with. He joined 30 other Democrats, and I think one other senator joined with him in trying to decertify Ohio rather. Nobody ever called these people, quote, election deniers. So the whole thing is so effing phony. I don't know what to say. Effing stands for freaking, by the way.
The use of election denier is especially important. And I do think that there is a difference in degree. If Donald Trump's going to go around and say, I won, that's one level of denial. It's another for you to say, I don't think the election was fair. I don't think the media was fair. I think that this was a rigging to try to suppress the Hunter Biden story and to try to suggest that the laptop had all the hallmarks of Russian disinformation. And now here in 2022, the New York Times says the laptop is real. The Washington Post says the laptop is real. CBS News says the laptop is real. And people like Oliver Darcy at CNN are still running around saying it's fake.
Tim, I know you've been talking about this for years over at the Media Research Center, but we are just outnumbered and surrounded. You got the Washington Post, They have never endorsed a Republican for president in their history. New York Times has not done one since 1956. All of these